As long as you're a law-abiding citizen, who cares? Who cares how many bullets I purchase? Who cares how I defend myself and my family and my rights? Because that's what it really comes down to, ladies and gentlemen, defending our rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Defending ourselves and our families against tyranny. I know that's terrible to say. I know you're not supposed to say that we have guns to protect ourselves from an out-of-control government, but that's what the founders intended. That's why they included the Second Amendment. As a matter of fact, they weren't even going to include this in the Second Amendment. They weren't even going to include the right to bear arms in the Constitution, not because they didn't think it was necessary, but they thought that it was just common sense. They said, oh, why even bother adding it in the Constitution? It's just common sense that everyone should be able to defend themselves. But then they came around and said, okay, well, maybe we should. We have the Second Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, to defend ourselves against tyranny. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Oh, but Jason, the government's never going to go out of control. It'll never happen here. We're never going to have to fight against the government. It's happened in countless times in world history, ladies and gentlemen. It has. And quite frankly, the people who say that it'll never happen here, maybe it won't, but they're in denial. I'm not taking a chance. I'm not going to say, oh, well, here's my weapons. Take them. Take them. You know, you'll never turn your backs on us. Let me read you a little bit of gun control history here around the world. In 1929, the Soviet Union established gun control. From 1929 to 1953, about 20 million descendants, unable to defend themselves, were rounded up and exterminated. 20 million. In 1911, Turkey established gun control. From 1915 to 1917, 1.5 million Armenians, unable to defend themselves, were rounded up and exterminated. Germany established gun control in 1938, and from the year 1939 to 1945, a total of 13 million Jews and others who were unable to defend themselves were rounded up and exterminated. China established gun control in 1935. From 1948 to 1952, 20 million political descendants, unable to defend themselves, were rounded up and exterminated. Guatemala established gun control in 1964. From 1964 to 1981, 100,000 Mayan Indians, unable to defend themselves, were rounded up and exterminated. Uganda established gun control in 1970. From 1971 to 1979, 300,000 Christians, unable to defend themselves, were rounded up and exterminated. Cambodia established gun control in 1956. From 1975 to 1977, 1 million educated people, unable to defend themselves, were rounded up and exterminated. Oh, but it'll never happen here. How do you know? How do you know?
Factor Talk Radio.